Now back to our regularly scheduled news report. What up, viewers? What up? Calc Soups here, and today is Friday, February 3rd, and that means it's time for a quick recap of the week in video game news. I am very excited for a game that is coming out, and I got to see its launch trailer this week. Hogwarts Legacy comes out in just 1 week. I hear that it's going to have early access for those who pre order the deluxe edition, so some people might be playing it on Tuesday next week. But the big news this week was they released their launch trailer, and it really kind of set the scene and got me really excited to play it next week. As with a lot of people and a lot of my friends, we are very excited to jump into the world of Hogwarts and run around and hopefully fulfill the dream that we've all had of running around playing a open world action RPG in the Harry Potter universe. I also enjoyed the fact that the trailer had Jim Dale. I've been talking about this for quite some time. Jim Dale recorded the audiobooks a long time ago and won a couple of awards. So he's also the narrator for Pushing Daisies. So he has a very distinct voice, and very, very awesome that they got him, who has been involved with Harry Potter in the past, involved with this now. And last but not least, Hogwarts Legacy will probably be most definitely be my friend zone game for the month of February. So I'm looking forward to getting some friends to talk about it once we've played through and lived in the world of Hogwarts. So I'm very excited for it, and I hope you are too. Let me know what you think of the launch trailer down below. Moving right along, the upcoming Jedi Soul Survivor game has been delayed. Unfortunately, it was supposed to come out on March 17th and is now coming on April 28th. So a few short weeks. Nothing too worrisome. It's not like a 10 week or couple month delay or it delayed indefinitely. It was just pushed back 6 weeks, which just kind of seems like maybe they're squashing some final bugs. They need to pass certification or something like that. And hopefully that brings us a better game. So I know this first quarter is going to be quite busy, so pushing that out might give me more time to play Dead Island or some of the other games that are coming out early this year. So I'm looking forward to playing Jedi Soul Survivor when it comes out later this year. But I will have to wait just a little bit longer, which gives me more time to get through Ragnarok or Plague Tale since I haven't gotten through either of those. The PlayStation VR is also around the corner and launching on February 22nd. And it's kind of boasting a pretty big library. It kind of has to because it's not going to be backwards compatible with any of the games from the previous PlayStation VR. So I think you might have to rebuy Beat Saber if you don't already own it, which could be annoying. There's also going to be Before Your Eyes, a couple other games that caught my eye. I'm excited to play the Horizon game if I do pick up my PlayStation VR2. That'll be my first Horizon game that I do pick up. Both Resident Evil 4, the upcoming Resident Evil 4 remake, as well as Resident Evil Village will be on it. Tales from Galaxy's Edge, if you want to get some Star Wars, is going to be on there. There was also a sword fighting VR game called Swordsman that you're going to be able to play, as well as something I'm very excited about, and I was super hyped on the first one. The Saints and Sinners Chapter 2 is also coming to PlayStation VR, so I'm very excited about that as well. I have yet to pre-order my PlayStation VR. Hopefully, I can still kind of wait and I'm gonna wait and see what reviews are like for it before I pick it up. But I've always been a pretty big fan of the VR industry as a whole. I just haven't figured out my entry point, and I think PlayStation VR2 might be that. So I'm looking forward to PlayStation VR in just a couple weeks. Some pretty big news affecting the world's biggest gaming convention, um, the E3. I'm talking about E3. Um, the Electronic Entertainment Expo will not have first party. So no Nintendo, Sony, or Microsoft will be at E3. I don't. I think there's a lot of speculation on whether or not any of them will be a part of Jeff Keighley's Summer Games Fest. But I could probably assure you that all three of them, maybe not Nintendo, will be in the LA area in mid June. So those are all that's something I could imagine happening. I can imagine that outside the Microsoft Theater, uh, or even within Microsoft Theater, they might like set something up in there so that you can kind of check that out. Or outside of it, you can kind of set something up out there. Sony, I don't think was involved in E3 for a while. This would be the first time E3 has been in person since pre-COVID times. So that's something that we have to consider as well. And I know that it's been taking a hit as people have kind of spread out and done their own things. You don't have to be part of E3 to be in the E3 window and still get all the kind of press coverage that you're looking for. But yeah, pretty big deal that Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo will not be part of E3. Probably a pretty big hit to the ESA for them not being there. But I bet a couple of the big publishers will also still be involved. I know that I think EA has already spun off theirs, and they do EA Live. That I think might have a partnership with Summer Games Fest. Activision is probably wishy washy, so I still think it's worth it to check out, to be in the area and check out, and I will be things that are going on around E3. But that ticket price is potentially maybe not as much as not worth as much as it used to. So take your E3 with a grain of salt when you purchase your ticket this year. After an awesome episode 3 of The Last of Us, The Last of Us has a TV show on HBO has been picked up for season 2. So I think no spoilers, but it was a very good episode for episode 3. And I think a lot of people were very excited about it. And I was fairly certain that what they dumped into it and what they kind of built would uh, lead to them being renewed before the end of the season. So pretty excited to see that. The running rumor around what season 2 is that season 2 will pick up with Last of Us Part 2. I kind of am afraid of that. I feel like they could probably live in the Last of Us world for a little bit longer, maybe stretch it out. I know they would be going off book with that, but I still think there's a little bit more that you could do with The Last of Us before jumping straight into the plot of season of The Last of Us Part 2. Also, it would feel weird. There's a time gap between The Last of Us Part 1 and Last of Us Part 2. So picking up like a year later for the actors and carrying on would feel a little bit disingenuous, but that's the current rumor is that they'll pick up season 2 with part 2, and I feel like you could spend a little bit more time in the world and kind of stretch it out before getting to the events of part 2. So maybe they only intended to have a short series, but I can imagine with the success that people are going to want them to stretch it out. So hopefully they don't piecemeal it or take too long or just kind of fart around. It's definitely something that could slow down their success, but yeah, I kind of wanted them to take a little bit more time with it. So that's just my 2 cents. Discord is everywhere now, and now it is coming to a PlayStation near you. I believe now you can officially start integrating Discord onto your PlayStation 5, and I'll have a link down below talking you through that via an article. So yeah, I think the Discord partnership was announced a couple months ago. I think it was like August or something when Sony and Microsoft both announced that their Discord integrations were coming. I tried to do Microsoft's one. This is a complete anecdote, but I tried getting the Microsoft one up and running when I was trying to play Grounded with friends, and it was not happy with whatever we were doing. So hopefully Sony's integration works a little bit better than my experience with Microsoft's. But yeah. Moving right along, is the game industry changing and as a whole? The games industry starting to reject, are players starting to reject live service games? That was the point of an article that I read this week, with a lot of live service games shuttering this week or telling us when the lights are going out on games like Rumbleverse, the kind of wrestling battle royale kind of game, and then Knockout City is also turning off their lights in a couple months. So it was just all of these are kind of coming together. A lot of these live service games or games as a service are starting to turn the lights off, and so that led to speculation about is the industry rejecting live service games. I can definitely see this. I feel like maybe it's a pendulum. I feel like we are swinging back to like single player games, even though 5 years ago single player games were dead and everything was all about multiplayer and battle royale. But I feel like the pendulum is swinging a little bit back, and live service games aren't as popular anymore. I don't know if they'll swing back. I feel like live service games imply like a constant content treadmill, and I don't know that a lot of companies can keep up with that. Destiny 2 and Fortnite, I think, have the financial backing to be able to generate that content constantly. But yeah, the industry is just kind of pushing back against live services. There's a lot of things you could be doing with your time, and I think grinding for higher numbers sometimes isn't what people want to be doing, and they want small. Potentially, they want smaller and more curated experiences, which is kind of where I am. So that's kind of my opinion. So let me know what you think about the live service games out there. Do you have a favorite one? Let me know down in the comments. We do have games launching this week. I know I'm talking about a lot of games and stuff that's launching later this month, but we do have games that launch this week that I am excited about. Me and my wife have been playing the We Were Here series for quite some time, and I don't know if this is the last one, but the most recent one that launched, We Were Here Forever, launched this week. So we are very excited for that. It's another co-op escape room like puzzler game. It launched on the 31st of January, so very excited to eventually pick that up, and that's probably what we will be doing after we put down It Takes Two, which we are playing through right now. Another game that caught my eye this week was Can You Fish for Cthulhu? There was a cool fishing RPG, and fishing and RPG doesn't really seem like it would jive, but you throw in Lovecraftian horrors, and now you've got my attention. The game is called Dredge, and it had a really cool kind of pixely art style, and you're just constantly. I think you're a fisherman, and you're constantly upgrading your ship, so you can go and catch bigger fish until you get more deep sea fishing, I guess, and you eventually run into Cthulhu or Relay or something like that. So pretty excited to check that out coming later this year. And last but not least, even though the IP has kind of been switching hands a lot recently, and we won't get Alicia Vikander, it sounds like we are going to get a Lara Croft TV show from Amazon. So the Tomb Raider is going to come to Amazon. It seems like Amazon is investing heavily in video game IP related TV shows. They're also working on Fallout, one of my favorite series of all time. And so they're also picking up Lara Croft and potentially making a TV show around her with Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Briggs is leading production, I think, is where she is. So she's known for a couple of really good shows like Fleabag. And so, yeah, her picking up, having a female director on or producer on Lara Croft show would really help. I think it really helped give it a different feel than it has been in the past. But looking forward to Lara Croft TV and eventually seeing that on Amazon sometime soon. That's it for this week. Let me know if you think I forgot anything down below in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this content. If you do, please follow, like, and subscribe to me on YouTube and Twitch so you can see more great content like this. I'll have links down below in the description. Thanks again. I hope you have a super day. I hope you have a super weekend. And I hope you have a super day. Bye.